Now, this is gonna sound a little over the top, maybe a little overly dramatic, but I promise you it's not, and I promise you that if you approach the markets with this understanding, it's gonna take your thinking to a next level and put you in a much better spot. Because if you're anything like me, when I was a beginner and just getting started, I didn't understand this concept at all. And in my defense, I thought about it very logically, but sometimes in the market, and that's why things are so tricky, the logical way to think about things is not the way that you're supposed to actually think about it. So this is by no means intuitive. So if you fall into this trap, hey, join the club. I've been there too. But the whole idea here revolves around buy the rumor, sell the news. What does this actually mean? And I'm gonna walk you through a real life example so you can see I'm not just talking in theory here. But what it means is there's some sort of rumor out there. And this rumor is something that's going to happen. And when this thing happens, whatever it is, well, that's gonna be very good. So people wanna get in before the thing happens. So people get in, and the whole idea is, okay, I'm in because when this thing happens, then, it's gonna explode in the upwards direction because rocket to the moon, because this good thing, as soon as it becomes from speculation to reality, it's going to just launch into outer space. Or sometimes people are saying, well, no, I don't want to speculate. I just want to wait until the thing actually occurs, because when the thing actually occurs, well, then it's confirmed as happening. So then that's what I would want to get in, because that's when things are going to absolutely explode. So there's a couple ways that people look at it. They're buying the rumor or waiting for the rumor to be confirmed. In other words, that is the news. But this is where things really spin out of control for people, because they don't quite understand what's actually going on from the market psychology standpoint. So let me walk you through a real life example and you'll see exactly how this plays out. So right here we have an event, and this event, this speculation, this rumor is right here in the headline, approval this week. Approval of what? Well, a Bitcoin ETF. Now, if you're watching this years from now, this concept still applies. I'm just taking it in a narrower way so we can look at a real life case study. But yes, this revolves around Bitcoin. Who knows? Maybe if you're watching this in 10 years from now, Bitcoin doesn't exist, or maybe it's worth $1 million. I don't know. But setting all that aside, the point here is that there is this rumor, there is a speculation that, okay, this Bitcoin ETF, it's going to get approved, or it's got a high likelihood of getting approved, but and it's getting closer. And there's all this sorts of buildup. And as you're going to see, I love the title, as they go on to say, speculation reaches fever pitch. So speculation off the charts, reaching fever pitch levels. And then the subheadline, the anticipation for a potential approval by the SEC of a spot Bitcoin ETF has put the crypto market into a frenzy. So do you see that? The anticipation of a potential, all this rumor stuff, and this rumor stuff is about something that is good. So if this good thing happens, if it becomes reality, well then, boom, that rocket to the moon. But again, it's also going to cause other people, well, I don't like that word potential. Let's wait until it happens, and then I would be interested, because at least we know that it has happened. So you have those people out there too. But let's go down a little bit more, and I want to show you something that occurred within this whole event. And then we're going to look at the price action, and I'm going to throw a little quick quiz question at you and see, can you maybe spot when this event happened? So right here, Reuters reported in late December that 2 executives had disclosed that a first wave of potential spot Bitcoin ETF approvals could be expected in early January. And like any good soap opera, we got some good drama here. Reuters reported something had leaked, and there was this, okay, looking like they are going to be approved in, later on in January. But this event where Reuters reported was in late December. So my question to you here before we cut to the price action is, where do you think late December was at on this chart? So again, where do you think late December was? Well, I'll show you right now. You look here, and wouldn't you know it, right here was 12/27. Hopefully we can all agree that right there, 12/27 would be considered, you know what? Yeah, that's late December. And you noticed what happened there with the price on that day. It went up, big green candle, and hit a high of 31.30. And real quick, for context sake, I am using one of these Bitcoin stocks, but the point here being is that if you look across the crypto board, everything was behaving in this manner. And what manner am I talking about? Well, this right here. And all of this represents that hype, that buildup, that potential, that, oh, it's coming, and that fever pitch that we saw. That is what is being represented. This is right here, which we'll call BTR, buy the rumor. Just the rumor had people buying and buying and buying. And then right there is, just absolutely fever pitch type levels where the thing in some ways went straight up. But let's continue on with the story and see how things continue to play out. And I realize you saw this all, but notice what happened after that late December event. Absolute crash to the downside. So right there, we have our first glimpse into what was happening here. The smart money, let me repeat that. The smart money was like, okay, there it is. That is essentially the news. We've got confirmation, although it's not official, with this leaked stuff, we have confirmation that these things are going to get approved. So in other words, the news is going to happen. So why did the price drop? Well, because when everybody is thinking, oh, it's going to happen, the new money, the dumb money, which was me, which was maybe you at one point, they're rushing in to buy even more. Why? Well, because, oh, it's happening. I only bought a little bit before because there was only potential it was going to happen. But now it is happening. So therefore, because it is happening, I want more. And you have a bunch of those people buying and buying. And that's where you got that big green candle from. Again, right there is where absolute fever pitch, everybody buying because confirmation, it's leaked. We know it's going to happen. So everybody just is pouring in on that big green candle. Now, the smart money, they have bigger positions. They've been buying the rumor the entire time. They understand market psychology. They're just going to buy in when everybody's talking about it, when the hype is building, when the anticipation is building. But because they're smart money and they have bigger positions, well, they definitely need a way to exit the position. Because when you have a big position, it's going to take big amounts of buying to clear out that position and turn that into an actual profit. And that's where days like this come into play. When the frenzy truly begins because you have that confirmation of the news happening, well, they know to sell. They will sell into all of that buying pressure that is occurring from the dumb money. And I don't say that in a mean way because I was dumb money too before I understood this concept. They're just selling to all those people that are all excited because it's happening. It's official, confirmation, time to get in. And they're saying, yeah, time for me to get out. And then we have this bounce right here, which is also interesting, but makes perfect sense. And then we have the top where it never got as high, but right there hit a high before absolutely getting crushed even further to the downside. So what was happening there? Now you have to remember, and this is what puts a little bit of a twist into this when you have these leaked reports and stuff like that, is that there was actually still no official confirmation because it was just, okay, well, there's this leaked memo, and yeah, it turned out to be true. And for the smart money, that's all they needed. That's what created the fever pitch. But there's still this, okay, well, that wasn't, it's still not official. So that's why the price crept back up because it still wasn't the actual official announcement. But then let's take a look what happened next. And yeah, that memo was correct because US SEC approves Bitcoin ETFs in watershed for a crypto market. So big, huge news. It has happened. And that happened on January 10th, meaning January 11th would be the first day that you could use these these Bitcoin ETFs. So January 10th is when the news happened, when it became reality, meaning January 11th was the first day that you could trade. So common wisdom would say, okay, here comes the rocket to the moon because it is now officially official. But you've already seen, that wasn't the case. But right here was actually, you guessed it, January 11th. So right there was January 11th when it was the first day to trade. And you can see even in this candle of itself, you can see a little bit of buy the rumor, sell the news because it did gap up. It ran right there. And then that was all she wrote. Down it went the rest of that day. And from that point forward has continued to drop and drop and drop. This is selling the news right here. It happened. It's official. Smart money got out. They sold into all the people rushing in. The smart money was buying in this phase right here. They were buying that during that entire rumor phase. And then the rest right there, the speculation, the leaked memo. Oh, but that wasn't official. When it officially became official, that is when they exited, and that's where those lower lows came into play. So the lesson here is this: next level thinking. Don't be looking for the news. Well, I take it back. Look for the news, but don't use that news as your confirmation to start buying. Look for the news as your confirmation to start selling. Sounds totally bizarre, seems totally backwards, but that's just how it works. And for those of you that are maybe watching this, and if you've experienced this, provide some cover fire for me. What's something in the past that you've experienced where it was buy the rumor, sell the news, buy the hype, and then sell when whatever the hype thing actually happens? So you got to just sit back and just say, you know what? What's the smart money doing? What are my emotions telling me to do? The emotions tell you to either buy the speculation and then buy more when the news is released, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Why would I exit when the good thing has officially been confirmed? I get it. Totally counterintuitive, but that's why I call it next level thinking. You've got to get beyond what your brain says makes sense and do the opposite. So am I saying that you have to completely exit the position? No, you can still hang on to some of your position if you want. But more times than not, you're going to see a dynamic like this very, very, very similar. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So I hope this helps. Like I said, comment down below if you have any sorts of these experiences. But very counterintuitive. But if you start to think the opposite way, you're taking your investing and trading knowledge to a next level, and that's going to put you in a much better spot. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.